Hey everyone, Ryan here, M&R Productions, with my review of the summer 2017 LEGO Star Wars 75167 Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack. Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful there, and yes, I did say summer 2017 because LEGO did release battle packs during summer waves for a few years there when they were releasing new movies like crazy, which was pretty cool. I liked getting battle packs in the summer. But anyway, this set has 125 pieces, and when it was released, it did retail for just $15. Now, adjusted for inflation, that's about $17 in today's money, but more importantly, what you'd pay on eBay right now is somewhere around $30 sealed in box, which is still a pretty fair price because you're getting 4 pretty iconic characters here, which is awesome for just $30. However, the real qualm I have with this is the word battle pack, or words battle pack, down at the bottom there. I mean, I'm sorry, but Dengar is not battle pack material. You're not army building bounty hunters like this. I really wish LEGO would just call this a bounty hunter collection set or something, not a battle pack, because that's just not what it is. Anyway, the top of the box showed off the new, at the time, Forlom, and then on the back we just have the speeder at a different angle on a bit of different terrain, so that's pretty cool. Let's open it up. This is everything out of the box. Here's a little back of the instruction manual nostalgia for you from the summer of 2017, and let's take a closer look at our minifigs. The IG-88 minifigure in this set is exactly what you'd expect. It's nothing special, but it gets the job done representing the character it's supposed to represent. With a nice print on the top for the face of the droid, the rest of it is rather uninspiring, just using like regular body parts for battle droids and everything that you would normally expect. He's got a big rifle attached to his back with a clip, which is nice, but yeah, the figure doesn't bring anything special to the table. It's just IG-88 in a battle pack. While we have had Bossk in other LEGO Star Wars sets, this particular version of him is exclusive to the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack, which is nice for sure. It's really detailed, great prints on this guy. Definitely would have benefited from some dual molded legs to better show his exposed part of his legs down here, where you can see part of the feet that's printed onto the front. Very nice, but yeah, definitely lacking a little bit of detail, but generally this is a more than good enough, I would say, well above the bar set for figures in a $15 set. It looks fantastic, of course, with the special mold for the Bossk head, and yeah, he looks really good. Love the eyes on him as well, so big fan of Bossk in this set, and exclusive at that. Very nice. The Dengar minifigure looks great here, slightly lesser detailed than the Bossk, as he's missing any bit of leg printing at all, but generally the chest plate looks really good. He's got a backpack added on, which also does have some printing underneath. So there's our backpackless Dengar, and you can see his face print is phenomenal, showing off the bandages wrapped around his head, as well as the hat piece, which is like an actual physical bandage piece. You can see it's like got the texture to it and everything. Very nice figure for the set. And lastly, we have Forlom here, who at the time was brand new for this set, but did make his way into a Slave One 2 years later. This figure is excellent, though. So well detailed. You can see the big eyes on him with a great pattern there. I love this particular minifig. Each of these 4 figures are given stud shooters, which are certainly the worst weapons you can give a minifig. I mean, it's just a somewhat disappointment every time you see those attached to the hand of a figure. It is kind of neat that they still gave IG-88 the regular rifle, and he does balance out nicely for weight distribution with the rifle on his back and the stud shooter in his front hand, but yeah, stud shooter's definitely not optimal. At the end of the day, though, these 4 figures are 4 of the 6 bounty hunters that we see on the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer in Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, but I would have just preferred a set that costs $30 and includes the other 2 with Boba Fett and Zuckuss. So to me, making this a battle pack with only 4 of the 6 is a little bit disappointing when you could have just had 6 of the 6 in a different set, which I think would have been a much cooler set conceptually. But nonetheless, let's talk a little bit about the speeder bike. The color scheme on this bike has to be one of the most unique out of all of the LEGO Star Wars speeder bikes. Getting a light blue color on a speeder bike is just so abnormal to me. It looks so out of place, but it works because it's so different. Like, what color would a bounty hunter speeder bike be? I don't know, I guess blue does work. It does feel a little bit like an odd color choice, though, given how ruthless some of these bounty hunters are. And I feel like when you think of ruthless, you think of more evil colors, and blue like this is just not one of those, but it works out, and you've got some really nice details on this thing. I think the things that set it apart the most from normal speeder bikes from Star Wars are these pieces here on the left and right, and then these at the back. So that's kind of the things that set this thing apart. If we take a couple of these off, it's gonna look like a pretty normal speeder bike from Star Wars, right? It starts to look a lot less odd to me when you take those side things off. And I'm not even really sure what they're supposed to be, because they certainly aren't thrust, because they're facing forward, unless for some reason this thing is supposed to go backwards really fast too. But they don't shoot like a projectile or anything, so it's kind of odd. I do like the inverted tiles on the side here. I think that adds a nice shine to it. And then we have a windshield at the front. I feel like there should have been a control panel right here. There is certainly space for it, but unfortunately they just completely omit any type of control panel. They could have put anything printed right there. It would have looked nice. And then we actually have a small seat there, which unfortunately doesn't have like a tile bottom, but I guess they didn't want to like raise it up any higher. So we'll take a figure like Bossk and put him in a seated position, and he can sit right there. You can't really like hold on to the handlebar or anything. Like this whole little section is a little bit disappointing. You could have had a handlebar that he could have held, and you also should have had a control panel. Just two things completely omitted for some reason. Then we have stud shooters on either side of the speeder. Everyone should know how stud shooters work. And then at the very back, we have a backpack, so unfortunately no like real storage, but the backpack looks like storage. And then we have some engines at the back. At least I assume these are engines as well. The other kind of neat thing this thing can do is kind of stand on its back thanks to all of those pieces at the bottom. They aren't the strongest thing, so like if you push down on it, they will fold out, but it is something it can do. So from like a play perspective, I guess that gets points. For $15 to get 4 of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy, and to help somewhat recreate that scene on the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer in Episode 5, this is an excellent value. In fact, it's one of the better value $15 LEGO Star Wars Battle Packs we've maybe ever had. That doesn't change the fact that this shouldn't have been called a Battle Pack. You could have just called it a Bounty Hunter Kit or something. Like, there's other names for things than Battle Pack, which I would appreciate people in LEGO especially use a little bit more often when something is just so conceptually far from what battle packs normally are. But this is still a really good set as it is. I love the speeder design as something unique, and of course the figures are great. The only downside with them is getting the stud shooters, but they don't feel like they were especially made cheap because it's such a cheap set. They still feel like the full quality minifigs you would get in a $100 set, but just in a $15 set, which is awesome. Yeah, like I said earlier, I still would have preferred to get all 6 in one, like a bridge scene from the Super Star Destroyer, but this is kind of a great second best thing to that. So Battle Pack naming conventions aside, this set is a 9.5 out of 10. It's about as good as you can get for a cheap set to get 4 great unique minifigs in. So let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed, hit that like button. You can check out more LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.